What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, Uncle Fred, back in the house one more time, giving you great content, giving you great energy, talking about the NFL. Go ahead and hit that like, comment, and subscribe. Become a part of the Uncle Fred Sports Experience. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. I put my money and my reputation on it. Let's get right at it, fam. Go ahead, hit that like, comment, and subscribe, and notification, and let's get right in it, fam. This had to have been the greatest, and I put it in my trailer. This was the greatest divisional round I have ever seen in the NFL. Now, your boy Uncle Fred been around for a minute, but Uncle Fred, just north of 50, been watching football to know what it is and what's going on, probably about 42, 43 years. I ain't seen nothing like it. 4 games, 4 walk-offs. It don't get no better than that. One of them, I think, was Hollywood scripted, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But let's just go ahead and get this thing started, man. Man, if you don't love the NFL after seeing what we saw this weekend, man, you better check your pulse, man. Something wrong with you, man. Something wrong with you, man. Oh, is he alive? Oh, is he alive? You didn't like this weekend in the NFL. I don't care who you pull for. My team, we've been out of it. We out of it. We ain't got a dog in the fight, but I like good football. And so what I saw this weekend, even though, my team gone and it's out and they in off-season mode, got coaching searches and whatever that's on the horizon possibly, and coaches going to checking for other jobs and possibly offensive, defensive coordinators. They're talking about coaches that's at other teams possibly being their coach and all that stuff. But what's on the field that happened this weekend, dude, that's why I say the NFL is the best thing. It's the best thing, man. It's the best thing. And that's the gift that keeps on giving, man. It's fantastic. Let's get into it. Game number 1, Saturday, about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Cincinnati Bengals. I call them kind of the Cinderella Cincinnati Bengals at the Tennessee Titans, the number 1 seed, the rested and ready Tennessee Titans, sporting a 12-5 record at Nissan Stadium. Let's get at it. Well, we know Tennessee gets the ball first, and I'll be dadgum if my boy Tannehill don't throw a pick. Dude, what is you doing? I don't know. Intercepted by Jesse Bates. Think he was going for Julio Jones and got picked off. Cincinnati promptly goes 38 yards, 22 yards, 6 plays, 250, 38-yard field goal. McPherson, 3-0. Okay? Tennessee punts. All right? And then, towards the end of the quarter, Cincinnati goes 61 yards and 6 plays with a 45-yard field goal by McPherson, and it's 6-0. Now, as the second quarter starts, Tennessee kind of shakes the rust off a little bit. They go almost the length of the field. They go 84 yards, 9 plays, 5-yard touchdown run by Derrick Henry in Wildcat formation, changed it up, took the snap, fake, went back to the left, plowed into the end zone. That's my boy Derrick Henry. And just like that, and then they got some sort of penalty by Cincinnati, so they got the option. I kind of don't like that because teams always think, well, we can get the ball from the 2. We just go ahead and run a play instead of kicking the extra point. So they try to play from the 3-yard line. It don't work, and it's 6-6. At least you got a tie. And from the most part, it was a bunch of punts, some good defense, and sacks. Cincinnati, you might want to get y'all offensive line fixed before you get your boy killed. I'm just throwing that in there, just just for me, just from Uncle Fred, just a little, advice, or Uncle Fred. I won't even charge you for it. Might want to fortify that offensive line in the offseason in some way, shape, form, or fashion, because you actually got your boy killed. Okay. Well, towards the end of the half, Cincinnati, and there was another interception by Tannehill. Dude, what is we doing? Okay. And Cincinnati goes 39 yards and 10 plays and kick a 54-yard field goal by McPherson. Now, remember, McPherson missed about 4 field goals in that game against the Green Bay Packers early in the year, and he's missed some field goals, but he seemed to have figured out what was wrong with him, and got it. With kickers, you can't really get them off too much. That's why I didn't like Jerry Jones talking about our kicker, in his weekly news conference at 103.3 The Fan. Like, you can't mess with kicker psyche. They might not make another kick. You can't mess with them. So anyway, whatever they did or did not do to McPherson, he got his stuff together and he kicked a 54-yard field goal before half. And at the half, it's a field goal fest. It's 9-6. Well, actually, Tennessee got a touchdown, but it looks like a field goal fest. It's like 3 field goals to 2, but it's 9-6. And so anyway, third quarter comes around, and the Bengals go 9 plays, 65 yards. It was we had key plays with Joe Mixon with runs of 7 and passes to Higgins for 12, Ujoma for 11, and in a run of 12 by Mixon, and a run of 7 by Burrow to get it down to the 16. And gives way to the sweep, the 16-yard sweep by Joe Mixon, who scoots around the left end into the end zone. Thought he was going to get bumped out of bounds, but none of the Titans looked like they wanted to tackle him. Went right down the sideline. Touchdown. It's 16-9. And somewhere midway through the third quarter, Burrow threw one bad pass, and it got intercepted by my boy Hooker. And it was intended for, I believe it was intended for, P. Ryan. And Hooker kind of got it off the ground, and they thought he might have trapped it, but under further review, interception good. Titans don't waste no time. Intercepted the 27-yard line. They got 2 plays, 27 yards, got a 10-yard run and a 16-yard catch by A.J. Brown. Beautiful catch on the right side of the end zone, just like that. 16-16. And so from that point on was punt, a lot of good hitting, and a lot of sacks. I think Tannehill was sacked one time. Dude, Joe Burrow sacked 9 times. Okay? 9 times. I bet you he got sacked on every possession, at least once. Because I'm 9 times, and I don't think he got sacked twice on any possession. I don't know how many possessions they got. Probably should look that up. But he pretty much got sacked on every possession. So go back and forth. Tennessee finally gets the ball, and they're driving. They get inside the 20-yard line, and it's about 20 seconds left. It's sure to be a Tennessee victory. But I'd be dadgum if Tannehill going for Westbrook Akina, and he get intercepted by Jesse Bates. What the heck, man? It's 20 seconds left in the game. All you got to do is run the freaking football and kick a field goal. Game's over. It's 16-16. But they turn it over. Tannehill's 3rd interception for the day. Now, it did get tipped up and whatnot, but then when it's close like that, throw that thing in the dirt. Can't be doing that, man. So Cincinnati, they drive 20 yards in 20 seconds. And it was Hooker. That intercepted that. Yeah, they went 4 plays, 46 yards in 20 seconds. And they kicked a 46-yard field goal with no time left. Cincinnati wins. Your boy called it. And I forgot to say it in the opening, but your boy went 3-1. 3-1. Tennessee, top ranked, number 1 seed, sitting with a bye, 1 and done. I don't know, because I think there was 1 and done last year, because I think they got knocked out by Baltimore last year and was also 1 and done at home. This one I kind of will give you some solace on it, because I thought that, losing Henry at November and them going, I mean, they played well. They went 5-3 without him, and they beat some good teams without him, beat the Rams without him. I think they beat the Bills with him. But I mean, they beat some teams, beat the 49ers without him. And I thought they got him back, and I thought they may have did too much with him. Let me give you some stats. Henry, he scored that 1 touchdown, but he was really 20 for 63 and 1 touchdown, basically a little less than 3 yards, 3 yards a carry. 20 for 62, 1 touchdown. But Dante Foreman was 4 carries for 66 yards, including a 44-yard scamper. I don't know. Maybe you feature Foreman and you sprinkle Henry in on specific plays to kind of get him acclimated, because it's obvious his rhythm and timing and stuff was off. He ain't played against live bullets in a couple of months. I don't want to second guess an NFL coach. Obviously, they know their team better than I do. I'm just saying, Tannehill, 15-24, 220 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions, including 1 with like 25 seconds left in the fourth quarter, and you driving. Dude, you cannot do that. And actually, it wasn't at the 20. It was like at the 40-yard line, because if they was at the 20, they would have just been running. It was 20 seconds left in the game, is what it was. And the Bengals didn't have to go but like 25 yards to get to like the 32-yard line to kick that field goal from 48. And Joe Burrow, 28 of 37, 348 yards, no touchdown. That 1 interception that led to Tennessee's only touchdown. And Tennessee outgained them, outrushed them 140 yards, or 65, 118 to 65, excuse me. Jamar Chase, 5 catches, 109 yards, a lot of timely catches. Higgins, 7 catches for 96 yards. They're gonna be formidable. Ujomo, 7 catches for 71 yards. A.J. Brown for Tennessee, 5 catches, 142 yards, including a 40-yarder late in the game that I thought was going to set up the winning score. But Tannehill trying to force it to Westbrook-Akina, and it got picked. And so Tennessee is 1 and done. So, and Cincinnati moves on to the AFC Championship game. Okay. Burrow sacked 9 times, the first time since 2003, and Donovan McNabb that a quarterback has been sacked 8 times or more and still won the playoff game. They won this game, but dude, y'all got to get that fixed, bro. Y'all got to get that fixed. That's all the brother got to say. I'm saying y'all got to get that fixed, because you're going to get that kid killed. 9 sacks, some of them he just it's not there. I'm just going to give it up. I'm not going to try to throw some miracle, but a lot of them, man, he got caved in, and you can't have your quarterback getting hit that many times. All right, game number 2. This is the one I missed, but it's the one game number 1 I missed. I got, but I'm sorry I got it, because I would have rather Tennessee to have won it, but my football intellect told me that Cincinnati was playing well, and too many things had to go right for Tennessee to win. Too many parts had to be lined up, and I thought Cincinnati's lather was already lathered up and ready to play. And I think Tennessee was just a tad rusty in that game. And I think it showed. And Cincinnati was just a little bit sharper than them. Okay. And Tannehill definitely wasn't sharp. Anyway, second game, frigid Lambeau Field. It's about 3 degrees, snow flurries, frigid, frozen tundra, Green Bay Packers, San Francisco 49ers. And look, man, it started off like you thought it would because I picked the Packers. I would have liked to have seen Green Bay win it because I think, Rodgers kicking up way too much noise. I'll make no mistake. I make no secret about, not the biggest Aaron Rodgers fan. I think he's too much baggage, it's too much, the wagon chatter is too loud for me. I like my wagons quiet and just perform. Okay. I don't like noise. Okay. Uncle Fred don't like high maintenance. Don't like high maintenance anything. Don't like high maintenance players, high maintenance women, high maintenance cars, high maintenance employees. I like smooth sailing. Okay. And Aaron Rodgers this offseason, with all the stuff, y'all didn't give me what I want. And I thought the Packers bent over backwards to give him everything he wanted and stuff and acquiesced to him. And then with the mask mandate and the vaccination stuff, he's just too much. Anyway, game starts. Packers go 6 plays, 69 yards, 5 minutes and 35 seconds. A.J. Dillon off left tackle, plows into the end zone, touchdown, first drive of the game, just like that, 7-0 Packers. And I'm like, yeah, it's going to be like that. And then the San Francisco 49ers just couldn't get out of the park. Man, y'all realize, I'm going to tell you something. I don't know if Jimmy Garoppolo was having issues with the weather, but I think it was his players because there was a couple of plays early in the game. I know he hit Kittle early. He bobbled it around like a 40-yard catch, bobbled it around. Debo dropped one, and I think Jennings dropped one, and Ayuk dropped one and fumbled one, but they later turned it over. And as a result of that, Garoppolo didn't have a completion in the first quarter. He was like 0 for 6, no yards, and been sacked like 3 times. 2 times, 3 times, something like that. And Green Bay's nursing a 7-0 lead, but they're not worried because it ain't like Green Bay, San Francisco can move the football. They could. I mean, don't get me wrong. Playing in Green Bay in January, dude, that's a different beast. All right. And it just seemed like that they was having problems adjusting to that. But I will hand it to the San Francisco defense. On that first drive, Green Bay went right down the field. Devontae Adams looked like he was going to have a 13, 14, 15 catch fest because he caught passes of 14, 10, and 11 yards on that drive on their way to that 69-yard, 10-play drive. And but rest of the half, 3 plays, 5 plays, punt. 3 plays, 5 plays, punt. Now, right before halftime, they San Francisco, and I thought this was going to be the straw that broke the camel's back. Right before halftime, the 49ers go 40 yards, 60 yards on 11 plays. And they go, at 6:41 of the second quarter. They drove 11 plays, 58 yards. They went to Debo, passing to Elijah Mitchell, runs by Elijah Mitchell, passes to Kittle. And they had 1st and goal from the 19. And, then they got a penalty on Trent Williams for holding. It was 1st and goal from the 9. And that pushed it back to the 19. And on 1st and goal from the 19, they flushed Jimmy out to the left, out to the right. Throw the ball away. He tried to force it in the end zone to the corner of the end zone. Gets picked off. You're in the red zone. You done drove the first sustained drive you done had all day. They was grinding, getting that yards. I'm like, if they can tie this thing up at halftime, it's gonna be a ball game. And it's like the air went out of him. He hits the Green Bay safety You know, he made a good play on the ball, but it was a bad pass by Jimmy Garoppolo. And there's a chance you just can't take in the red zone, especially in a game like this when the weather is bad and points are going to be a premium. If nothing else, you get a field goal and it's 7-3 going into halftime. But no, 7-0 at halftime. Incidentally, Green Bay had a fumble in the second quarter too, a 23-yard drive, 33-yard drives, and Aaron Rodgers hit my man Mercedes Lewis, and he got hit and fumbled. But the 49ers couldn't do nothing with it. They ended up punting. So, like I said, it was a series of punts and all this stuff. So it ended up being 7-0. And they had a field goal blocked too. The Packers had a field goal block. Special teams would figure big in this game. Special teams. People always talk about the three parts of the game: the offense, the defense, and the special teams. And many times, you don't spend a whole lot of time on special teams. But in a game like this, the weather is bad and all this kind of stuff, and points are hard to come by, man, if you can get a special teams play, man, that's going to be huge. So it's 7-0 at halftime. And so we go third quarter. San Francisco gets another drive. They go 10 plays, 39 yards. They they get inside the 10-yard line again to the 3-yard line. And I thought it was a bogus call on Elijah Mitchell because he busted off to the right, stiff armed the defender, the Green Bay defender, and got down to the 3-yard line where I thought it was going to be 1st and goal, but I seen a flag, and I'm like, what did they call it? Holding? No, they called him for a hands to the face mask, and that's a personal foul. That's a 15-yard penalty. So it goes from the and I think it happened at like the 6-yard line. So they moved from the 6 all the way back to the 21. Or the 5, all the way back to the or 6, all the way back to the 21. That's 15 yards. And they really couldn't get anything done, so they ended up settling for a 29-yard field goal, and it's 7-3. Okay, and then they did from that point on. Both teams combined for like 6 punts. Punts were at a premium. Good hard hitting. Weather was not conducive for a lot of explosive plays, and both defenses came to play. Green Bay gotten a lot of their defensive players back. Zadarius Smith greeted Garoppolo in the first half with a sack. I think he may have had 2. And Zaire Alexander made a couple of plays, but he also got met by Debo on trying to fill a lane on a run and got knocked backwards. So, but it was a lot of hard hitting in this game. So it gets down to later in the third quarter, Green Bay drives and gets a field goal, and they go 57 yards and 14 plays, a field goal of 33-yard field goal by Crosby, and it's 10-3. And and you think then, that's probably going to down a touchdown. I just can't see San Francisco scoring a touchdown. But that defense, they came to play. So they made Rodgers go 3 and out, and on that last play, they sacked him for a 6-yard loss, and so they're in punt formation back at their own like 12-yard line. I think it was inside the 20. I know that. And when I say special teams is the thing, punt, whenever you hear boom, boom, you hear the 2 thuds, and a guy rushed right up the middle, blocked the field goal, blocked the punt, and I'm going to get his name back. Talanoa Hufanga picks it up. Ball was just sitting there. He picks it up, shuffles into the end zone about 4 yards, touchdown, just like that, 10-10. With about 4 minutes and like 41 seconds left in the game, we got ourselves a ball game, okay? And I'm saying to myself, if San Francisco, if y'all defense is what they're supposed to be, now's the time I need to flex. And if Aaron Rodgers, if you the guy you supposed to be, this is when you got to make some plays. But they proceeded to go like 3 and out. And I thought Aaron Rodgers was panicking because he went to Devontae Adams along the right sideline. It was a badly thrown pass. And then he threw some crap over to the left side of it. And then on 3rd down, he went deep to Devontae Adams and was double covered when Tanyan was open right in the middle of the field for like a 12-yard gain. And it was like he had his mind set on on Devontae. And I know Devontae is the dude, and they go 3 and out. And then the 49ers get the ball back with about 2 minutes and 3 minutes and some change left. And they go 9 plays and 44 yards and use up every bit of that 3 minutes and 20 seconds. And I'm going to tell you exactly what they did, okay? Because I thought it was just so dramatic how it went down. First play, Garoppolo goes to who really had a rough time throwing the ball. He's pressured all day. But you know, he made plays when he had to be. He goes 12 yards to Kittle. They had 1st and 10 from the 29. He goes 12 yards to Kittle out to the 41-yard line. Then Mitchell goes off tackle 4 yards. Now it's 2nd and 6 at the 45-yard line at the 2-minute warning. 2-minute warning. They're at the 45-yard line. You know, just a little before midfield. After the 2-minute warning, it's 2nd and 6 from the 45. Garoppolo goes 14 yards to Deebo Samuel, come up big. He's taking hits, delivering hits, going to the sideline, you know, toughing it up, coming right back out there. Deebo Samuel is a GAM. Y'all know what I mean. He's a grown man. That's a bad boy, man. 14-yard pass play, run through some guys, gets down to the, I think, and gets down to the 41-yard line. And it's a 1st down, so it's 1st and 10 from the 41. Then Deebo runs 3 yards to the 38. A timeout by Green Bay because it's like, oh, it's getting down with like 1 minute or something. We want, if they let them score, we got to have some time left. And then it became so it's 2nd and 7. Deebo no gain. It's 3rd and 7. So it's 3rd and 7 from the 38-yard line. And Deebo goes around right side, gets through the line of scrimmage, lines up Mackenzie Alexander, and Zaire Alexander. Blam. Blast him back, gets about 12 yards, 1st down at the 27-yard line. I'm like, Deebo. He got hurt, goes to the sideline, puts his jacket and stuff on, but they in field goal range. Green Bay calls a final timeout, and then they run off left tackle. It was at the 29-yard line. Off tackle with Mitchell, 1 yard, and they go to Gushek, the fullback, for a yard to the 27, called a foul timeout, 4 seconds left at the 27-yard line, bringing Robbie Gould. Folks were saying, oh, can he kick in these elements? And I'm like, that dude kicked it for the Chicago Bears once upon a time. He ain't worried about this. He kicked in this before. And snap, hold, kick, good. 13-10, Packers go home, 49ers win, and they move on to the NFC Championship game. Another number 1 goes down. And look, let me give you some particulars on some stats. You know, it really wasn't a high scoring. The ball wasn't moved a whole lot. There was a lot of punts, a lot of sacks. Jimmy G got sacked 4 times. Aaron Rodgers, I told you they was all on him. They made him very uncomfortable. He got sacked 5 times and hurried a whole bunch of other and forced him into some bad throws. San Francisco had 212 yards of total offense. Really, not really, but they got some yards when they needed them. They got them 40-some-odd yards in the 4th quarter with 3 minutes and some change left when they needed them. And the Packers should have been, you know, on them, but they couldn't stop them. Packers had 263 first downs. San Francisco had 12 first downs. So they're 14 yards rushing. 49ers 106 yards rushing to the Packers 67. And a 3rd down, 4 of 11 for San Francisco, 5 of 12 for the Green Bay Packers. And Garoppolo was 11 of 19 for 131 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception. Deebo Samuels, 10 carries for 39 yards. Also caught 3 passes for 44 yards. Kittle, 4 catches for 63 yards. Methodical. Aaron Rodgers, 20 of 29, 225, no touchdowns, no interceptions. First time in since 2009, I think 10 or whatever it was, that he's not thrown a touchdown in a playoff game. Just didn't make good throws, man. He was sacked a bunch of times. Just wasn't good. Devontae Adams, was 9 catches for 90 yards. Aaron Jones, though, he had a big catch early in the game. It's like a 60-yard. Aaron Rodgers put that thing right on the dime, though. And that's the one I think they missed the field goal. But he had 9 catches for 129 yards. But I'm going to say this. We're going to move on to our third game. I do not, and I'm gonna say this. I don't. If there's some Aaron Rodgers fans that watch my channel and this other, I hope I'm not, hurting your feelings or disrespecting you in any way, shape, form, or fashion. But if I hear anybody else come to me talking about Aaron Rodgers is the greatest thrower of the football ever, all this kind of stuff, I'm gonna freaking scream. I'm like, if you don't shut the heck up talking about this dude is like 7-9 in the playoffs. Okay, remember he was 4-0 the year they went to Super Bowl back in 2010. Okay, so from that point on, he's like 4-9, 3-9 in the playoffs since he won the Super Bowl. And I can tell you the 3 games he won. He beat the New York Giants when Odell went to South Beach before the game. He beat my Cowboys the next game, and I think he beat I think the Rams last year when they had John Wolford playing quarterback, and he got hurt, and they brought in a injured what's his name? They went to the Lions. I can't think of his name. They brought him in. And so yeah, he's got 3-9. He's 1-4 in NFC Championship games. He didn't get there. He's 1 and done. And he was just sagging his sorry butt off the field after the game. And I'm like, good riddance. Get on off the field. Get the trash off the field. And I know he's a great player. I get all that. But when a player starts to make too much noise, talking, making a whole lot of saying a whole bunch of stuff, the smirkiness, you rub me the wrong way. And then when you don't perform, and I know everybody crucified Dak Prescott. He can't win the big one. He's not a good quarterback. I had a friend of mine tell me, well, you can criticize Aaron Rodgers all you want. He's better than Dak Prescott. I'm like, what are you saying? I mean, of course he is. Aaron Rodgers is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Dak Prescott really is a 4th rounder. Really, he was fortunate to be a starter. I think he's made a good career out of where he's at and the way he finds himself. But let's make no mistake about it. He ain't making the same throws that Aaron Rodgers makes. But for some reason, when Aaron Rodgers gets in big games, the skill and the precision goes away and he becomes erratic. And I don't know what that is. He is a 440 touchdown to like 90 interception guy in the regular season. But in the NFC Championship games, he's 9 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Make that make sense to me. That's just like a basketball player being 95% free throw shooter, but when the game's on the line, he dumps down to like 55, 60%. There's something going on up here. So Aaron Rodgers is 1 and done. They're gone, just like my Cowboys. They're 1 and done. Number 1 seed, them, Tennessee, both gone. We're going to the next game. Great win by the 49ers. They gritted and they grinded and gritted that game out. 49ers, man, that's a tough, hard-nosed football team. Kyle Shanahan calls a good game in between the tackles. And if you ain't ready, if you ain't got your lunch pail and hard hat ready in the trenches, Kyle Shanahan will make your life kind of hard. That's the Cowboys from last week when they punched them in the mouth. That's my boys. But moving on to now we're getting to the Hollywood. And so you got the LA Rams at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And defending champs, number 2 seed Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming into the game with everything to play for, knowing they can host the NFC Championship game. They can just beat the Rams. But I contended because I picked the Rams that the Rams actually beat them early in the season when the Buccaneers had everybody. They had Ronald Jones. They had Leonard Fournette. They had Godwin. They had Mike Evans. They had Brown. They had Brake. They had everybody. Scotty Miller. They had everybody. Okay. And they beat him, I think it was like 30-20 or 37-20 or something like that. I can't remember what the exact score was. So I said, now, I know the Rams are down Robert Woods, but they got OBJ, and so I think that kind of makes up for it. But and the game started out like I thought. Tampa Bay gets the ball, go 3 plays punt, a lot of pressure. Brady bailing on his passes, and the Rams get the ball first drive, go 9 plays, 72 yards. But they bogged down inside the red zone, and they have to settle for a 26-yard field goal by Gay, and it's 3-0 Rams. Tampa Bay 3 plays, punt again, and they kick it back to the Rams, and then the Rams go 2 plays and 70 yards. And what ended up happening was on first down, Matt Stafford got sacked. I want to say it was by Vita Vea, got sacked for a 10-yard loss. Okay, and then on the very next play, busted coverage, Cooper Kupp, 70 yards, touchdown. And what ended up happening was the corner thought he had safety help over the middle, but Cooper Kupp faked it like he was going across the middle and broke it back straight. Wide open, man. Wide open. And it got so bad, Devontae David was so pissed off about what happened, took his helmet off and flung it on the ground. Like what the heck is we doing, guys? How you let that guy get wide open? Cooper Kupp had like 147 catches and like 1,900 and something yards and 16 touchdowns. You might want to put 3 guys on him. Make Odell and Van Jefferson and Higbee and them guys beat me. I ain't getting beat by that guy, so that's why he was upset. Threw his helmet, got an unsportsmanlike conduct, and Vontae Davis is not a guy that goes like that, and so you can tell how frustrated he was on that play. But now it's 10-0, and so but the Buccaneers finally get off the snide on their third possession. They go 6 plays, 48 yards, and they settle for a 48-yard field goal by Ron Suckup, and they kicked it off, and it goes out of bounds, and so they got it at the 40. Okay. So anyhow, it's 10-3, and then the Buccaneers, they of course the Rams, I think they go punt, and then I think the Buccaneers punt, and then the Rams end up going, they end up scoring another touchdown to go up 17-3. So at that point it's 17-3, and you know what? I got my touchdowns out of whack. On the second drive of the game, they go They go 7 plays, 71 yards, and it's a 7-yard pass to Kendall Blanton. I think he's a special teams dude. So yeah, I'm sorry about that. But then when Tampa Bay kicks their field goal, they kick it out of bounds. So Tampa Bay, the Rams get it at the 40, but Stafford gets sacked and it's back at the 30, which leads to a 70-yard touchdown by Cooper Kupp. Got my touchdowns out of sequence, but it's still 17-3. Okay, and so at that point, the Rams go 12 plays, 41 yards, and the drive bogs down at the 11-yard line, and they kick a 40-yard field goal by Gay, and it's 20-3. Now, on this next drive, the Buccaneers, Brady on first down and 10, and it's 10 minutes to go in the second quarter. Brady gets an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, and I'm like, Brady? Apparently, he got hit by. I think he thought that somebody hit him late, hit him like up underneath his chin because his lip was kind of bleeding. Wasn't bleeding much, but and he said something to Scott Hockley. Scott Hockley is that guy that likes to call penalties, and he called it. He's like, "Nah, bro, I'm calling this on you. Call unsportsmanlike conduct." It was on an 8-yard pass. He had thrown it from the 20, from the 27. The 43 to the 35, and then they called a 15-yard penalty on Brady for his saying he said something. Sometimes you just say the magic words and and they get you. And so they moved it back to a second down and like 17. And Brady being the gamer he is, sometimes I think people make a lot out of his stuff, but that dude can put balls where very next play. Leonard Fournette, wheel route, goes now, leaks out of the backfield, goes out and up, that perfect wheel route. Brady laid that thing right over his outstretched shoulders, perfectly placed pass, first down, 19-yard pickup, and they get inside the they get inside it was perfect placement on that pass, and they get inside I think the 11-yard line, and they can't move it any further, so they settle for a field goal. The field goal gets blocked. Okay, field goal gets blocked, and so the Rams take over, and they're driving, and they punt, and then the 40, and then the 49. Then the Buccaneers are driving, and Brady throws an interception. Okay, he throws an interception. He's throwing a pass to I think he's throwing it to Mike Evans, and it's picked off. And so from that point, the Rams go 5 plays, 30 yards, get down to the 1-yard line. That's when the Hollywood begins. You got Cam Akers going off a right tackle, gets down to the 1-yard line. He's on top of a player, and he's crawling towards the end zone. The ball comes out. I'm like, what are you doing? And that stops it because they was going for 27-3. Okay. It was going for 27-3. So let's not get the thing twisted. It was about to be 27-3. And so Tampa Bay gets the ball at their own 1-yard line, and they basically just run the clock out, and so it's 20-3 at halftime. Okay. So for me, for me, I'm like, it's a Hollywood script. But the second half, really not a whole lot of stuff. The Rams do get a touchdown. They do get a touchdown to go up 27-3. But then when they're the Buccaneers get a field goal to make it 27-6, then things start getting crazy. Cooper Kupp, one of the most sure-handed wide receivers in the NFL, had like 172 handles of the football, never turned it over. Catch the ball along the left sideline and just drops the football. I'm like, what the heck is you doing? Leads to a Tampa Bay touchdown. They drive right down. A Leonard Fournette touchdown. Knocks the guy right off of him. Walks in the end zone. 27-13. And I'm like, oh, okay. All right. Then some even more bizarre stuff stopped happening. Then Brady fumbles. And then on the very next play, the ball goes over Matt Stafford's head. He's calling out his cadence. And looking around, center snaps the ball over his head. Like, what the heck is he doing here? But the Tampa Bay does not score on that. They don't score. The Rams defense buckled down. They made Tampa Bay punt, and then the Rams punt. But then the next drive, Tampa Bay they blow the coverage. They send all their coverage to Scotty Miller, and they leave Mike Evans 1-on-1 against Ramsey. I guess I get that, but Mike Evans burning on like a 60-yard touchdown pass. Brady put that thing right on him, and that before you know it, it's 27. It's 27 to 20, and I'm like, oh man, that's a football game now. But it's only like about 4 minutes left in the game. Okay, and then Tampa Bay had started to use up their timeouts, so they get the ball back with about the Rams get the ball about 3 minutes to go. Buccaneers ain't got no timeouts, so really they get a first down. Ball game's over. They get the ball, they run it to Akers. He gets about 5-6 yards. And I think that's when they call their last timeout, if memory serves. So they come back, and then they go to the 2-minute warning. And it's 2 minutes and like 30 some odd seconds left to go in the game. And it's like 2nd down and 6. Cam Akers goes right up the middle. He's about a yard or so short of the first down. Ball comes out. And I'm thinking to myself, dude, you already done cost them 7 points earlier in the game. You might want to, wrap that up, because even if you don't do anything, it's less than 2 minutes in the game. They got no timeouts. You can't fumble the football. If you just go down, it's going to be a minute and like 25, 30 seconds before you got to snap the football again. Okay. And then if you get the first down, the ball game's over. But even if you don't get the first down, they got no timeouts. You can run it down to like 40 seconds, 25, 30 seconds, and get a delay game and kick it. They got 40 seconds. They got to get a touchdown, but he fumbles it. And of course, you give Brady too many chances. You hand it on a silver platter to Brady. That's why I was like, this looks like a freaking Hollywood script. Because if it wasn't for the Rams turnovers, the fumble going into the end zone, Cooper Kupp fumbling and then Akers fumbling when he just fall down, Tampa Bay would never even got within like 3 touchdowns. Okay, but he fumbles and Brady gets him down, and they got a 4th down at the 10-yard line, and they got all them people up front to stop at like a quarterback sneak. Hands that thing off right tackle to a Fournette, speeds into the end zone, 10-yard touchdown, and that's a tie game at 27-27. And I'm sitting there like, this can't be happening. This can't be happening. All right. So they kick it off to the Rams, and the Rams get it at their I want to say it was at their 25-yard line. Cooper Kupp makes 2 plays. He makes like an 18-yard like square out, fakes the dude out, cuts to the sideline, catches it, dude falls down, goes out of bounds. Then the very next play, 2nd down at like the 40-yard line. I don't know what kind of coverage there was, but Cooper Kupp burnt them. Back pants was just smoking. Got burnt down to the 6-yard line. Now, interestingly enough, as a Cowboy fan, I'm watching that play because I know it was only like about 20 seconds left when they threw that pass. And I'm watching the play, and I'm watching all the players and the linemen and everybody run down to where the play was. And funny thing was, the umpire that was behind, that was spotting the ball, was actually behind and facing the play. And by the time they got down there, he'd already spotted the ball. Now, funny thing, when the Cowboys lost to the Niners, when they had a play, the guy that was spotting the ball was behind them. And I've never seen that, because he had to go through the line of scrimmage to get to the football. Because I was watching to see if the guy was trailing the play to spot the football, and it wasn't that guy. So why was a guy trailing the play on our last second play, and there was like a 10-yard play, and they had like a 50, 60-yard play and got down there and got it spotted, and nobody ran into nobody. Didn't nobody even touch the referee? Ran up and spotted it, and they snapped the football and spiked it. Then Gay walks onto the field, 4 seconds left, boots it right through the upright. Field goal's good. It's 30-27 Rams. And I almost said, I put this on Facebook too. I almost thought at the end of that game, I expected somebody to say, and cut. Good job, guys. Because it was so Hollywood. They was favored by 3, and it ended up being by 3. And then you had all these odd turnovers at the most inopportune times. And I was like, what are we doing here, man? So anyhow, let me give you some particulars on here and just kind of see what we got on this here. I got the stats here. But that was the score indicated that it was a great game, but the turnovers would tell you that it really wasn't. It really wasn't. But total yards, Rams had 428 yards to the Buccaneers 359. Neither of them rushed the ball very well. Matthew Stafford was 28 out of 38 for 366, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Tom Brady was 30 of 54, 329, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. As far as like team stats, You know, Buccaneers, had the ball, 28 minutes to the Rams, 34 minutes. Rams had 24 first downs to Tampa's 20. Third down conversions, Rams 4 of 11, Buccaneers 3 of 14. Not that big a deal, but the Bucs were 2 of 4 on fourth down. That's pretty good. The Rams ran 70 plays, the Bucs ran 71. Sacks. I think Brady was sacked like 4 times. Fumbles. Rams had 4 fumbles, lost all 4. 4 turnovers, and Buccaneers had 1 turnover, 4 punts. But in reality, the game wasn't close as the score would indicate. The Rams really dominated that game, but it was just some very inexplicable fumbles, inexplicable turnovers, inopportune times that kept them from scoring and kept the game close and gave Tampa Bay opportunities to score when they really didn't. I didn't think they really were good enough, but I guess they got to make the point spread be what it be so folks can make the money they're supposed to make. A little conspiracy theory thing I got going on here, but anyway, Buccaneers go home. But look, man, I'm gonna say it like this: Tampa Bay might have lost, but Brady went down like a G. I'll give him that. He went down like a warrior. I can't knock him as opposed to that other guy up in Lambeau. Yeah, he went down like a G, like you're supposed to. He said, "You might take it, but you're gonna take it from my cold dead fingers." You're gonna take it from my cold dead fingers, right? So, we got to match up with the Niners. Hey man, maybe the third time's the charm. Then we're gonna get to me. I'm gonna say this, and I'm not one for hyperbole and recency bias and all that stuff. But this game might have been the best game I've seen in probably 30 or 40 years. This next game, the Buffalo Bills at the Kansas City Chiefs. And I'm not going to go into all the things because really the fireworks started at about, I don't know, a minute and 54 seconds to go in the game. And I think it was 23 to 26 to 21. I think it was 26-21 Chiefs. It was 23-21 and the Bills punted to Tyreek Hill, and he do what he do. It got down to the 15-yard line, and they tried some crazy wildcat play with Blake Bell, which I'm like, come on, Andy, what are you doing? Well, just get Patrick Mahomes, do whatever he's doing, and get that 3 yards and get the first down. But no, he tried some play with Blake Bell, the third-team tight end, playing quarterback, and tried some crap where he did something and pitched it to I can't think of that run. Number 1, I can't think of his. I think it's God. I cannot think of his name. Yeah, I do too. I feel bad for Josh Allen too. You ain't lying. You ain't lying. You ain't lying a bit about that. He dropped McKinnon, and they got stuffed, and so they had to settle for a field goal. So that made it 26-21. That daggum Josh Allen. From that point, it was Josh Allen time because he'd be back there. They'd be all on him. He'd shove guys off him, run for like 8 yards, run through guys, and get the first down. And then he threw a pass. I think it was fourth down and like 7, and was nobody open. And he said, "Shoot, I'm just gonna take off around the right end." And I'm of the opinion that when he gets his momentum going, you really not wanting to tackle that dude. Okay, because that dude's like 6'5", 6'6", and about 250. You really not wanting to tackle that guy. And so a lot of them guys be making business decisions when they see big number 17 coming. They be like, you know what, man, this guy blocking me. And he got the first down, and then they did. I think they did sack him, and then they got a lost play on the next drive on the next series, and it was 4th down and 13, and he went back, pump, and Gabriel Davis, he put some kind of move on my man Mike Hughes, and made him fall down. And I'm like, dude, you can't fall. That's just like in a basketball game. The guy cross you up and step back and you fall, and they'll wait for you to fall and they'll shoot the thing. And I'm like, come on, dude, you can't fall. You can't fall. You can't do that, man. But shoot, Josh Allen hit that dude right in the back of the end zone. And I'm like, oh, okay. Now it's 28, 27, 26. They go for two. They have him hemmed up, rolls out to the left, hits Stephon Diggs. What the few catches he had that day? I don't know what Stephon Diggs was. 29, 26, minute 54 to go in the game. And I'm like, wow. It's I guess it's the Bills' time. But Patrick Mahomes said, not so fast. They kicked that ball back to him. I think he hits Kelsey on a play off to the left. Then they run a crosser to Tyreek, cuts across the middle, gets to the sideline, about the 22-yard line. He handles up the peace sign. And I'm like, dude, you still got guys in front of you. But he just knew they wasn't catching him. Pieced him out at the 22-yard line on a 64-yard pass. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, really? And so from that, so then they kicked the extra point. So from that, so now it's 33-29 with a minute and 3 seconds left. And so now they need a touchdown. So I'm like, damn, I don't know, man. I don't know. But Josh Allen was like, nah, man, I ain't came this far, for this to happen to me. So he drives down, and it's the same thing. I mean, they can't stop him. Once he gets back there and he gets his rhythm, if he can't find nobody, he's just gonna take off and run. And then one of those runs is a safety for the Chiefs to try to make a tackle. He got blasted, and I'm sitting there chuckling. I'm like, "Yeah, you ain't want none of that number 17 coming with full steam." And then he gets down to I think the 18-yard line, and he hits Gabriel Davis over the middle. It was an end breaking route, and he wasn't open but by that much. But that thing was whizzing in there. Touchdown. I'm like, oh, snap. 13 seconds. I'm like, oh, man. And you could tell where they was high-fiving each other. I was like, dang. I said, Buffalo got this one. I said, you know what, man? Even though I was pulling for the Chiefs, and even though, man, I had picked the Chiefs, I said, man, that daggum Josh Allen played his off. And I was like, you know what, man? That's a game. That's a game right there. And so I thought they might have made a mistake by kicking the ball out of the end zone. I heard a lot of the prognosticators saying they probably should have squib kicked it or whatnot. But, hindsight always 20/20. But here's my thing. What if you bounce kicked it and it ends up in Tyreek's hands and he get a head of steam going? Because, it don't take much. It don't take much. Shoot. And he might piece you out. But the chances of him doing that, but still 13 seconds though. You just feel like you can't go 65, 70 yards in those 13 seconds. Heck, we couldn't go 10 yards in 13 seconds. Get the ball to 25, hits Tyreek on like a 19-yard. I'm like, what kind of coverage are y'all playing? He gets out to like the 41-yard line. I'm like, and they call timeout. I think the key is they had 3 timeouts. And really, even with 13 seconds, having 3 timeouts is like having 45 seconds, because you can always call a timeout. So they called a timeout, and I'm like, oh, y'all just a little bit past midfield. I said, okay, let's see what you got. And they let Kelsey get inside. And I thought the guy was going to cover him, but he went to pressure the passer, and he had a clean release. And I'm like, what are y'all doing? Caught it. Got inside the 35-yard line. I'm like, that's at the 28-yard line. The 31-yard line. That's a 48-yard field goal. That's a standard issue field goal for anybody. And they call a timeout with 2 seconds left. And I'm like, and you could see what was telling. You could see when they scored their touchdown, Josh Allen was like, yeah. You could see how positive and how confident he was. And then when that first completion was to Tyreek, you looked over there, he's sitting out, his eyes was getting a little bigger. You could tell he was saying, oh bleep, y'all please stop them, please. And then when he hit Kelsey on that like 29-yarder to get it down to the 31, he was sitting there like his eyes was like this. He's like, oh dang. He's like sliding his helmet. He's like, yeah, that, you know. And then when they kicked it, I'm like, they're going to overtime. And then when they got there, they went for I think they went tails and it was heads. And the Kansas City got the ball first, and they still lathered up. Your defense still reeling. I kind of knew right then, y'all probably not going to see this ball. They went right down the field. Boom, 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 boom. Hit Tyreek on some, hit Pringle on some, ran it once or twice. And Kelsey got into the right end zone, caught it, drug his foot, fell out of bounds. And I'm like, wow. From 1 minute and 54 seconds to go on in the game till that pound score, it was like 5 lead changes. I've never seen nothing like that in the history, as long as I've been watching football. Never seen nothing like it. That game, like I said, and I noticed after the game, Mahomes was giving his little after game talk to other, and he's like, hold up. He had to go over to Josh and was like, look, dog. Hey man, it's a shame somebody had to lose this game, man. And I like when guys respect other guys' games like that, man. I like that, especially when that guy gave you everything he had. I like to see stuff like that, man. So now you got that game. It's 42-36. Chiefs win, and you got the Bengals. So it's gonna be now it's set up for next week. You got the I want to say it's the Bengals at the Chiefs at 3:05 Eastern time, and then you got the Niners at the Rams at like 6:40 Eastern time for the NFC Championship game for the rights to go to the Super Bowl at SoFi. So now I'm gonna give you my picks. I'm with you, 1777. That's my picks. That's what I'm picking. I'm going with you. Because to me, that's the Super Bowl we should have got a couple of years ago. But what's the dude's name that plays for the Niners now? He offsided and they didn't get to go, and he ended up with that 10-3 snoozer. He ended up with that 10-3 snoozer in the Super Bowl. What are you gonna do with that, man? I fell asleep. I literally fell asleep on that game, and I'm like, man, everybody know that should have been the Chiefs and the Rams because they had that epic game on Monday night. What was it, 54-51 or something like that? Up and down, up and down. It's kind of like the game we just saw on Sunday night. It's kind of like that. So that's the kind of game you want to see. Don't get me wrong, I like some defense too. Now I like a little defense, but so you got the Bengals at the Chiefs. Look, man, I think the Bengals has been a nice little story. 54-51. Okay, I thought I was right. I think they've been a nice little story. Look, and I think the Bengals' future is bright. Joe Burrow is a stud. Okay, the Bengals can get him some offensive line help. And maybe a couple of defenders. They're going to be a problem for a couple of years if the Browns spin it. The Browns, or not the team, the Browns, but the owners, the Browns. The Brown family owns the Bengals. If they decide to spend any money, they cheat, man. They clip coupons. Okay, so it's just a matter of what they do, in order to keep that team together. Because that Joe Burrow is way too good to be, wasting him with Scotch tape offensive linemen and that sort of thing. So I don't know, man. I think the Bengals have been a good story. I know they beat them a few weeks ago in Cincinnati, but it wasn't no playoff implications on the line at that game, And Joe Burrow got sacked 9 times against the Titans, and they still won. And I like Joe Burrow, but he ain't got the mobility and the strength and the stuff that Josh Allen has. So, and don't have the arm strength and that kind of thing. But he can play. But I got Kansas City. I don't know, 31-16 or something like that. 31-16. I got Kansas City. I think the Bengals fight gambling. I think they give him, maybe for a half, they kind of give him a little bit. But I think in the full quarter, I think Patrick shows out, does what he does. I think he makes throws. That Jared McKinnon is a godsend. That guy can play. And they can use him all kind of different ways because he's a totally different kind of back than Clyde Edwards-Helaire is. And Andy Reid is kind of like the mad genius and kind of sitting there in his lab like trying to figure out ways he can, use him and things of that nature. Don't be surprised if you see McKinnon throw a pass before it's over with because he looks like he's got some talent. But I got Kansas City winning that one. And then we go to the NFC Championship game. And look, man, I know the Niners have beaten them twice, and I know they've probably beaten them like 5-6 times in a row or something like that. But I think the Rams can smell it now because it's like they ain't got to leave the stadium that they're in right now. They can just play this game and just, and just like the Buccaneers did last year. I think they can see it. They can see it from where they're sitting. It's a man, if we just go out and just play our game, we just don't do nothing stupid. If Stafford don't throw the ball to the different colored jerseys, if he just plays a basic game, if we just stick to our cues, we're going to make Jimmy G turn it over a time or two. I think the Rams can win this game. Okay? I think the Rams can win this game. So, right, the Bengals do have a horrible offensive line. And like I've been saying, 1777, if they don't get that fixed, they're going to get that kid killed. And I believe that they'll get that kid killed. The Niners have zero passing touchdowns this playoff. No, because they did not have one against us, and they didn't have any against. Matter of fact, they only had that one touchdown. It was a block punt touchdown. So yeah, that the one touchdown they had against us was I think a run by Elijah Mitchell. So there's no passing touchdown. I think he's thrown for 300 yards both games combined, and like two interceptions. So, and I think now what the interesting matchup that I want to see Jalen Ramsey on Deebo Samuels. That's going to be worth the price of admission right there. So I think it'll be a close game too. I think it'll be close, but I think the Rams just have more talent than them. It's just bottom line. They just do. So my prediction, Uncle Fred's prediction is going to be Rams 28, Niners 13, maybe 20. We'll say 20, 28-20. We'll go 28-20. And so you think 24-21, 27-24? Okay. I can see that. But I got if the Rams don't choke and start fighting, right. Yeah, you're right. If they don't choke, but I got the Rams and I got the Chiefs in Super Bowl 56, man, and I think it's gonna be epic. Anyway, that's all I got. Yeah, right. Shanahan at the end of games, he is a great play caller in the meat of the game, but at the end of games, man, I don't know what he be thinking. When you're trying to run the clock out, he's trying to throw the ball all over the yard and get incompletions, and that's how they did in the Super Bowl they played 2 years ago. If they just run the ball, they make the Chiefs burn their timeouts. But if you throw it incompletions, clock stops. And they get the ball, and there wouldn't have been enough time for Mahomes to do what he did, But he did the same thing. He did the same thing in the Super Bowl with the Falcons and the Patriots. And they just run the ball, kick a field goal, the game's over. But when he was offensive coordinator. But we'll see. Rams, Chiefs. And then I'll come back next week. I'll give you my pick on that. But that's all I got from the desk, Uncle Fred. Dude, if you don't like this stuff, man, you ain't got a pulse. I'm sorry. You ain't got a pulse. They got to check you, man. Check your vitals. Okay? That's all I got from the desk, Uncle Fred. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Become a part of the Uncle Fred Sports Experience. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. Y'all be good. I'll catch y'all on the next video.